Welcome to round 2 of the lower bracket of the International 3. It's down to LGD.int and Fnatic.
5 seconds
It's another best of 1. LGD.int managed to beat out mousesports in a pretty strong performance. Better than I've seen LGD.int in a lot of games. They were looking pretty good, but Fnatic is going to be a much tougher opponent, I think, than mousesports. Depending if mousesports can get a draft that they really want and they don't go greedy with the aggressive trialing. That was a big problem that Fnatic had earlier against Tongfu. They ran an aggressive trialing that they really didn't need to, and I think that set them back quite far. If Fnatic doesn't have a good laning phase, they don't tend to have a good game. They have some ability to come back. They're really good at playing scrappy, playing the quote-unquote rat dodo. And if they get the right picks for that, they can make that work. However, it's just they don't want to be relying on that, and it's not as effective versus some of these teams. Could work versus LGD.int. I don't know LGD.int's strategy well enough because they're kind of all over the place.
Fnatic's turn to ban.
So we'll have to see what they go for. LGD.int, they'll start off with 2 strong teamfight picks with the Gyrocopter and the Naga Siren. There's been a lot of Naga, which Fnatic has been known to run a number of times, so they're not just getting a pick for themselves, but they're also denying a potential pick to Fnatic. Combos very nicely with Gyrocopter. It means that as soon as Naga hits 6 with the sleep, can be joined by Gyrocopter for the call down action. Hot Gyrocopter called down on sleep XXX. Sure. Fnatic will go for the Visage and Lifestealer. Have not seen as much Visage from Fnatic, but it's I really think the support is straight OP in a number of circumstances for any team. And I think Fnatic tends to struggle with it because of how much it punishes aggression and dives. Good positioning and placement from Visage can really just guarantee constant soul assumption, pumping out onto supports or whoever your target is. Can work very well and works very nicely versus Naga Siren, since the familiars don't get affected by sleep. So I think that's going to work pretty well for Fnatic. And the Lifestealer era plays a fantastic Lifestealer. This is a comfortable pick for them. They're very familiar with this, and it really just depends on finding something that will go well with the Lifestealer. I think if they can find a nice Lifestealer bomb, Fnatic will be as aggressive as they want to be and can make it work. They ban out the Darkseer and the Razor. They're pretty standard bans, and I think the Chen ban initially from Fnatic is also smart. LGD really likes to run that. It's a pick they're comfortable with, and I think that's something that it's good to remove from LGD. If you can make them uncomfortable with their draft, or you can force them into something that maybe they don't want to play, or maybe they haven't played as much of, then you're probably going to be better off. LGD ban out the Storm Spirit and the Viper. Now the Viper, I understand the Storm Spirit ban. Great Lifestealer combination, good combo with the bomb. And Hani plays it very well, so I think that's an intelligent ban. But banning out the Viper, I don't think... I mean, that's a clear response to Fnatic's draft against Tongfu, which seems a little knee-jerk to me. There is a bit of that, particularly in the when you have these best of ones. You only have so much data to focus on, and it seems like the teams aren't necessarily studying. Some of the teams don't study each other as much as others do. So banning out the Viper, I don't know. Fnatic did just play it, but I don't think they're going to pick it. It does beat the puck, but I mean they lost the game with it. So what do you? It seems like a pointless ban to me. The puck is a good combo with Naga Siren, however. Another teamfight-oriented hero with good AoE, more lockdown, can really be quite deadly.
LGD International's turn
can definitely keep people in the AoE of Gyrocopter's call down, and if you get a multi-hero call down, it can be a really good start for your team fight. Also has silence, helps with ganking Lifestealer, and the mobility can be very good for getting to Visage. That can be one thing about Visage is because his positioning can be so safe, getting to him can be a
10
little bit of a
seconds
challenge. But
remaining.
Puck doesn't have a problem skirting around the sides, skipping
5
over,
seconds remaining.
and jumping straight onto the supports.
Reserve time.
Fnatic will pick up a Bane, so that completes their two components of their potential tri-lane. Bane is pretty decent versus Puck, long duration stuns. And because Gyrocopter is a natural BKB carry, Fiend's Grip will be put to good use, and it's a denied pick to LGD.int. LGD.int are really going all in on the teamfight strat here. They pick up the Jakiro with the Ice Path and the call down, the Macropyre. Both of those are really strong combos with Naga Siren, and we can expect a lot of AoE, but this is a little bit of a
10
wombo
seconds
combo.
remaining.
You don't really want to be picking all this AoE just to focus down one person. You want to be hitting multiple people with this.
Internationals turn
So
to
good
ban.
positioning from Fnatic can really punish LGD.int's picks here. That said, Jakiro is a very strong support. We haven't seen a lot of them at TI3. I don't think for any particular reason. Just because Visage has been so highly valued, Naga
10
Siren's been up
seconds
there,
remaining.
lots of Bane. There's just been other supports more
seconds
higher up on
remaining.
people's priority lists. I think Jakiro's a strong pick.
Reserve
It's
time.
just, it seems a little obvious what LGD.int's going to be going for, and that's going to make it easy for Fnatic to position correctly, to keep that in mind all the time, and it really makes BKBs very strong for whatever Fnatic picks next. Weaver is still in the pool. I think that's a viable pick for either team, particularly if this is a support Naga Siren for LGD.int. Definitely fits into what Fnatic has so far, and I think that would be a draft they really like. This would be like classic Fnatic draft. You know, maybe swap out the Visage for a Vengeful Spirit or a Venomancer, and that's potentially slightly more classic Fnatic. But either way, it's something they're very comfortable with so far, and I think if they finish it out with the Weaver, they'll be in a good place. I like the Dragon Knight of Fnatic. They do very well with it. It's a
10
stable pick,
seconds
and it makes them hard to burst down. The AoE is not going to be as much a problem for Lifestealer and Dragon Knight, and with the Shadow Blade, they'll be able to get into these fights however they want. Plus, good stuns. Getting a semi carry with a stun. That's all you could ask for.
10
LGD will ban
seconds
out the Nature's
remaining.
Prophet. I guess they just aren't worried about the Weaver.
5 seconds remaining.
Personally, if I were LGD, I would be.
LGD Internationals turn to pick.
Something to keep in mind here is with this heavy AoE lineup, it means that if you go for solo pickoffs, it's not very efficient. Fnatic will probably be happy trading one kill if it takes 4 heroes from LGD to make those kills happen. And they go for a Templar Assassin. Haven't seen a TA by LGD in at all, and really much else. I've seen it banned out a number of times. Has been played. Hasn't made 0 appearances, but it's an interesting pickup. A lot of damage on LGD. They're definitely not lacking for that. It's a little bit greedy. They don't need any farm on the Jakiro, but levels
10
are
seconds
certainly
remaining.
important on him and on Naga Siren, so they're both going to be kind of jockeying for that.
5 seconds
But really,
remaining.
4 of the picks on LGD require significant farm. An underfarmed Naga Siren support
Reserve
provides
time.
very little outside of the sleep, and I think as the game goes forward, can be really trouble for LGD. That said, Templar Assassin, very strong pick versus Dragon Knight. Psyblades goes through armor, which means that the Dragon Blood is not as an effective tool for sustain in the lane. However, and also not to mention that Refraction, hard for Dragon Knight to deal with that. Once he hits 6, it's not such a problem for him. The poison from his dragon form burns through that fairly quickly. But up until that point, Dragon Knight has no way of burning through Refraction and cannot harass Templar Assassin out of the lane at all. And depending on the positioning, if he eats too much harass, then he can be put onto the back foot. It's a lane that favors Templar Assassin, at least up until level 6, which, you're talking about the first 6 minutes of the game. So that's a good chunk of the laning phase. Fnatic will round it out with the Bounty Hunter, which I like this pick too. I think it's a fairly safe choice for their off lane. They're looking at a Naga Siren Jakiro Gyrocopter tri-lane. Where? Wow, I gotta keep my head on head on straight. There's a Puck and a Templar Assassin. Where are these heroes going to lane? It's potentially a... Is Fnatic going to run the aggressive tri-lane? Now, they really love to. It wouldn't be a shocker if they did. I'm kind of hoping that they go for something safer. I would look at this lineup and I would think it's a defensive tri-lane just because they have a bounty hunter. They can send him in the offlane. But it seems like LGD.int is expecting to be able to put Puck into the offlane where it can 1v1 versus potentially bounty hunter? I don't know how these lanes are going to work for LGD. And that does make me a little bit concerned because, I mean, not that Puck or Templar Assassin are weak laners, but an offlaner, off Puck, not particularly desirable. Is prone not to get any farm, and getting a 0 farm Puck is not good. A 0 farm Puck is a useless Puck. You have to get Blink Dagger, you have to get Treads. Bottle is pretty much a requirement. Puck is too squishy and needs just that little bit extra survivability in order to function in these lanes. And Brax is carrying a Quelling Blade. Is he going to jungle? That looks to be... potentially... I mean, ancient stacking, maybe? I'm going to be watching very carefully what LGD.int chooses to do with this Puck. And another concern I have is that Brax is a high impact player, and this looks like a bit of a cheesy strat. If he ends up with no farm, then one of their highest impact players who really takes, I mean, he was taking great opportunities in the Mouse Sports game, constantly finding him caught out. And if he doesn't have a good start, then I'm concerned for his ability to function in this lane. It looks like he's going to be doing some cliff jungling on the Ancients, which Fnatic will probably be able to figure out. But even if they don't, I'm not too concerned for Fnatic. This is a fairly easy, I mean, like, this is a very slow strategy for Puck to do. And definitely, it's a handful of cheese. So, we'll see how it works out. He's going to start doing it. This is not as effective as it is with a Windrunner or a Mirana, and definitely not as effective on the Dire side of the map, or the Radiant side of the map. So very, very concerned about LGD.int as these lanes get started out. It's going to be a very slow start for the Puck. I mean, look at him. He can't even attack for the majority of the time they're walking back and forth. I don't think this is going to work out. Very least needs to keep... I just can't quite get in range. So it's going to be a slow start for him. In any case, Trixie, he's going to be on the Bounty Hunter, pestering 1437 in the jungle. He should have a decent time in this offlane. Has to be careful not to get netted up and eat the rocket barrage, but otherwise should be able to steal some creeps and finds his experience wherever he needs to. Hani's going to be on Dragon Knight up versus G on Templar Assassin. And with the assistance of No Tail on Bane, the constant enfeebles are really a nuisance for Templar Assassin, especially early on. Still gains a pretty decent... Ooh, Trixie. He gets netted up, but he's got the Shadow Walk. He should be able to make it out. There's Sentry and Dust available for LGD.int here. They can chase him by quite a ways, but they're running out of mana. Misery's thinking about popping the Dust, but decides against it. Knows that I don't think with the two of them they have the damage necessary, or the mana really. So No Tail, he throws out a few enfeebles early on to help Hani get his bottle, but it's still going to be it's going to favor G at least a little bit. No Tail actually rotates up to top, and Trixie, he's going to find Brax doing this cheese strat here. And that's a problem for Puck. He's still got this orb, so he'll be able to escape, but this is all wasted time for Brax. He very nearly finishes off. Ooh, and he sentries it up. That's, you know, no more of that for Brax. He's gonna have to go into this offlane up against Era on Lifestealer and Fly on Visage. Dangerous proposition for him. Now, they don't have a lot of stuns, but they definitely have the damage, and his ability to sustain himself is questionable at best. If he's lucky, he can maybe steal some creeps. If he's a bit lucky. But we shall find out. And Trixie, he's actually going to steal one of these ancient creeps just to get a little bit. We'll take him pretty close to level 2, but that makes it that much harder for Brax to even consider touching these ancients.
Radiant's top tower is under
Trixie's
attack.
thinking about rotating around here on Brax. He doesn't have any more mana for Orb, and is forced to pop all of his regen. It's a rough start for Brax early on, but look at the aggression here from LGD.int. They're trying to dive onto No Tail. They will not successfully do so, but they will zone him out from this tower, which they would love to start working on. LGD.int don't have the greatest push strat, or the greatest push composition here. The best part of it is really gyrocopter. They've also got the liquid fire from Jakiro.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Not online yet, and usually it's generally uncommon to pick it up early on. So overall, I think this early game favors Fnatic. Brax is getting a little bit of experience in this bottom lane, but I don't know how long that will continue. He's definitely not going to get any farm, and he's just going to have such a slow start. I don't think that LGD are going to be able to get anything out of this Puck pick. Why would you pick Puck if you're going to send him in the off lane? In terms of mid, it's 23-6 on Hani versus 22-2 on G, which Hani, he's doing pretty well in this lane. As more levels are gained, it should favor Templar Assassin more. But realistically, ooh, there's a Nightmare up into Pycat and 2 TPs up top from Fnatic. Can they get in range here? Pycat, he's already got his phase, so he's running away pretty quickly, and they're not. Oh, the Nightmare. It's close. Oh, nice rotation from Hani. He gets the Dragon Tail off. This should be a dead Pycat, and should be first blood. Era picks up first blood. A happy start for him. And good timing by Hani, showing up at just the right time. It's going to get him his level 6. It's going to make his life against Templar Assassin that much better. I was questioning for a second, like, you know, maybe Era should just stay down bottom, focus on farming, but because he picks up first blood there, it's totally worth it. But it's really valuable for Hani to have hit his level 6. This dragon form is very nice for burning through refraction, and it's also good for stopping G from bottling up. There's a smoke up here from 1437 and Misery. They're going to wrap around on Hani. G, one thing I don't like here is that he doesn't have any traps on the middle ground. Although, no, there's a sentry here from Fnatic, so good sentry ward placement will actually help them keep. Yeah, this one is just barely out of sentry range. So wise play by Fnatic, realizing they understand the Templar Assassin. They know that where he wants to place traps. So failed smoke gank from LGD.int. It's gonna waste some time for them. However, good levels on Misery right now. He's level 4 at 6 minutes in. He's been getting what he needs. A little bit slow on 1437. Particularly compared to Fnatic. No Tail, he's hit level 4. Fly, he's hit level 4. I think Fnatic are getting more out of their lanes overall. More experience. Perhaps a little more gold. Dubious to check it this early on, but a little bit in favor. And No Tail's actually doing some stacking here. I don't know how they plan on doing this stack. They're not going to have any AoE until Hani hits level 11. Try again. Era will be pretty okay. He's got the sustain with Feast to make that work. Wow, Brax cannot handle the harass from Era whatsoever. Only 500 HP. I continue to be very concerned about this Puck pick. Lots of defensive traps up from G. He wants to make sure that he has all the slows he could possibly ask for. Trixie's hit level 4. Be pretty hard to take this TA down. But the Dragon Tail is here. Pops it onto G. There's an immediate teleport from Misery, but he doesn't have the sleep. Throws the net onto Trixie. The Nightmare onto G. The poison stacks, they're ticking up. They're ticking up. Not quite able to get it. Gee, he will live through this fight. Misery, he's going to do what he can. Oh, but 1437 has shown up with the Ice Path, but not quite. Does land one half of the Dual Breath onto Trixie, so Fnatic very, very close to getting both a kill on Misery and G, almost dying themselves. Very close engagement. Good rotation from Misery, just in time to save his teammate. Top tier 1 will get denied. Fortify gets popped. Fnatic will pick up that deny. Pretty important for Fnatic in this game because of how underfarmed, particularly Brax. When you've got severely underfarmed heroes, tower denies are that much more of a problem. Fly's just about hit his level 6. Right on time. In fact, really a little bit ahead of time, much faster than what we normally see. It's been about the second day time that most of the supports in Tri-Lanes end up hitting their level 6. So if you can get there sooner than that, it means you're doing pretty well overall. Era has gone for his phase treads. His normal builds is to... He often gets Armlet, and then he'll go into an SNY, into a Basher. Likes to play the Bash Lord. Now there's a Dream Coil onto Fly. There's no immediate assistance here from the rest of Fnatic. There's 2 teleports in, but he will go down to the call down. Honey, he gets netted up. He drops the Dragon form, throws out the Breath of Fire, but that's about it. Nice familiar stuns from Fly. Will hold them off for the time being. The Dragon or the Dual Breath is taking him down just a little bit. They're forced to dive a lot farther than they really want to. Another Flame Breath gets thrown out, so Trixie finishes him off. He's now hit his level 6. He's got track available, wants to bottle up as soon as possible. Just narrowly dodges the Riptide from Misery, and he'll just turn around and kill Misery, no problem. It's a 3-for-1 in favor of Fnatic right now. This is looking really good for Fnatic. They'll turn around on G. He's tracked up. No chance for him to make it out of this. It's a great fight for Fnatic. LGD.int, that was perfect from Hani. He baits out LGD.int so far, forcing them to dive way farther than they really wanted to for that kill, and as a result, sets them up very nicely for the delayed response from Fnatic. It seemed like they were hesitant about TPing to support their Visage, so they were a little late to the party, but nevertheless, they show up in time to catch LGD.int as they're diving the tower. And I guess it ends up being a 3-for-2 because of the kill on Fly earlier. Era, oh, he doesn't have Infest available. There is a Dream Coil available from Brax. Will he be in range? No, he will not. The Rage lasts just for long enough. Era's build saving him here because he's got 4 points in Rage, which realistically he should. Another important thing about that fight is the track. That got Trixie to his level 6, and that's going to mean that any trades from this point on will strongly favor Fnatic. And I really like Trixie's build. Going for something a little bit tanky. He sees all the AoE, the easy damage that LGD.int is going to be able to pump out. The only chance he's got to survive is to get the treads. Oh, there's a Dream Coil onto 2 here. Want to secure the kill. Era almost gets the deny. But the teleport down bottom, the track is up on Pycat. He's got no BKB, no easy survivability in this fight, but Era, he's got to be careful. Doesn't have Rage up for another 6 seconds. There's a Fiend's Grip onto G, keeping him back, getting the auto attacks from Hani. Era, he's trying to finish off the kills here. Nice Infest, lands onto 2. The Shuriken will just finish off Pycat. It's looking really good here for Fnatic in the early game. It's 8-2. There's going to be more track kills on the way. Brax tries to teleport away, but gets stunned up by Hani. It's a 4-for-none in favor of Fnatic. LGD.int, they grouped up, and I have to ask why. Why would you want to group up? Fnatic, they're just not dependent on their cooldowns. No Tail hit his level 6 after that previous fight, so the Fiend's Grip was off cooldown. The Familiars are available from Fly, so those are going to be available in these fights. Era's doing pretty well. He's getting plenty of farm. He's mobile. He's got all the damage he could possibly ask for. Will Fnatic... Brax, he thinks about going on this, but no chance. They will get the bottom tower denied, so at least there's that for LGD.int. But
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
Their start is just not good enough, and they're going for more aggression. This is really risky. If they find a pick-off, I mean, certainly Fnatic is not going to be expecting it, but Era, I mean, you can't gank a lifestealer, not with these heroes. I mean, if you get the net up, possibly, but I mean, they're dependent on their magical damage right now, and Era can just pop his rage and walk away. It's just not that hard. And Fnatic are completely aware of where LGD.int are. And there's a double damage on Trixie. This is very risky for LGD.int. The tracks are coming out. There is considering going on this. And there's a smoke here by Fnatic. The tier 1 is not here anymore, but the sleep is available from Misery, so it's possible for a turnaround, but no engagement will occur. Fnatic will chase them out of the jungle, and I think it's a waste of time from LGD.int. It's no skin off Fnatic's back to chase them out of the jungle. It's their jungle. They can just immediately return to farming. LGD.int have to walk back across their map. They can work on this ancient stack, but Pycat, he doesn't have the farm to do this. He doesn't have a Helmet Dominator. No sustain available for him to accomplish that. So I really think that LGD.int's not making good use of their time here. I mean, they haven't lost their map control yet. They can still farm. They have a pretty greedy lineup in terms of how much farm they need, and they should really not be looking to fight as much as they are. They want these early kills, particularly for the sake of Templar Assassin, but I think they need their basic items up before they can make this work. Trixie's hanging out with Pycat here in the jungle, and with the familiar stuns, could potentially take him down. This is a max level Shuriken, a couple more auto attacks. He's got the Shadow Blade or the Shadow Walk available. Will not continue the chase. Just continues to force LGD.int to respond to Fnatic, and Trixie can waste all of his time doing this, and it's still favorable for Fnatic. Though the one issue he has right now is that he has no TPs. A little bit of a lack of foresight here from Trixie. Should really keep that up. Keep those in his inventory if he wants to survive this. I do like this by Fly though, scouting out with his Visage familiars, helping Trixie navigate the jungle and avoid walking straight into a trap. So at this point, it's 15 minutes in, 9-2 in favor of Fnatic. It's about 4,000 gold, 6,000 experience in favor of Fnatic. They're looking to have a really good start here in this game, and I don't know. I mean, the one trouble for Fnatic is that they don't have the greatest lineup for pushing down towers, particularly until they have a mechanism, which it could be a while before they have that. Looks like Fly's going for a medallion first. Will we see one on No Tail? It's gonna be a while before he's got any items. Bane is one of the worst farming heroes in the game. Has no practical abilities for clearing creeps, so will be very slow to acquire items. Hani's going to start to work on this ancient stack. That's very good for him. He's going to go straight for a BKB. I would kind of like to see the Shadow Blade just because that's yet another thing for LGD.int to worry about. Wow, Era picks up a solo kill on Brax. That is not supposed to happen. I mean, Era has no bash. He's completely alone. He didn't even use the Infest. Brax, this is a misplay. It's the only way to put it. I mean, Era does have a lot of damage. He's picked up that armlet, so he hits like a truck. But I continue to be very concerned about the puck pick in this game. Puck off lane, not wise. Not wise one bit. I mean, he's got no blink, none on the way. He has 1,300 gold, so he could get it somewhere in the future. But, I mean, you look at the rest of his inventory, he's got boots, bottle, and wand. And a quelling blade that's absolutely useless. Like, that does nothing for him.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now, G, he could be in trouble here. He gets the Janata slow. Some more right clicks. Is No Tail here for the Nightmare? Not quite, but nice familiar stuns from Fly. Finished off, maybe? Nope, not quite. Does get chased out of lane. Soul Assumption comes out a little bit late from Fly. Ooh. Good resummon from Fly. Nearly loses his familiars. He'll prevent that feed. Nevertheless, putting a lot of pressure onto G. on the back foot this game. Oh, there's a dive going on to mid. Era just walks in and goes straight onto 1437. He has no troubles doing this. Era, he's got this armlet. It's really tanky. He infests inside Hani. Can he make it out? The call down onto Hani. Hani's just barely going to make it out. Possibly. Era is going onto Pycat. Can the Feast keep him up? But the soul assumption. It's a triple carol for Era. 1 for 4 in favor of Fnatic. God knows how many of those were track kills. A great engagement for Fnatic. Even though Era goes down, he takes down Pycat with him. A very risky engagement. Honestly, very lucky that that works out in his favor. And actually, that was probably a 2 for 5, given that Hani did go down. So it was a 2 for 5. There's a sleep used by Misery, but where's the follow-up? The TPs are coming in, but they're going to be delayed. I don't know if they can make this work. They could get No Tail, but the Ice Path misses. He will go down. He defensively nightmares instead of using the Brain Sap to keep him up. So perhaps No Tail could have made it out of there. But at the end of the day, Fly makes it out okay. It's a big cooldown to use for a support kill. In my humble opinion. It will allow them to get some damage onto the mid-tier 1. But blowing the sleep for that, I don't know. Ooh, Trixie, he gets netted up. He's going to get bursted down. I think that may have been some questionable decision-making from him. He does have this haste rune, so he'll be able to walk straight out. And Era has shown up. He's going straight onto Misery. Easy kills for him. There's a Dragon Tail onto G. Will Fnatic stay in this fight? They can if they so desire. They just got to be careful. Wise not to fight in the Macro Pyre. You don't want to fight in free AoE damage. But the mid-tier 1 will drop. It's another kill for Fnatic, and a track kill at that. These trades for Fnatic are wonderful. 7,500 gold, 10,000 experience in favor of Fnatic, and it's only going to get worse. The mid-tier 1 has dropped. The top tier 1, it's very low on HP right now, and should go down pretty soon. Pycat, has he finished his BKB? Not yet.
Tower is under attack.
LGD.int are going to need a lot from Pycat in this game. Yeah, as this game goes forward, particularly as more map control is acquired for Fnatic, getting rid of these tier 1s was probably the biggest obstacle to them really taking this game out of control. And now that those are gone, I think things are going to go pretty well for them. LGD.int, they're grouped up down at bottom. They're thinking about taking down Hani. This is a kill that they could probably get. There's a net onto Hani. Will there be a response from Fnatic? Some immediate TPs in. A lot of cooldowns getting used for this. The call down is used. Ice Path lands onto No Tail, but it looks like Fnatic will not be able to follow up on this. Trixie, he can come around from the side, but I just don't think that they're going to be able to follow through. I mean, this is a great kill for them. LGD.int finding a kill, very important in this game. But it's 5 people dedicated to make that happen, and they did, force out a TP, but this isn't exactly a turnaround. They took down Dragon Knight. That's no Era. Another unfortunate aspect of LGD.int's draft is that doing Roche, not particularly easy. They don't have anybody to tank it. They have a lot of damage, and they've got some minus armor, but without anything to tank it, it's going to be very hard to do. And until they get a Helmet Dominator or something that can stand in and take the hits, or at least amp up the DPS, it's going to get harder. The Blink Dagger is finally picked up onto Brax, so he just got a lot more useful, or perhaps I should say he just got less useless. He's still extremely squishy. I mean, just 3, maybe 4 right clicks from Era and he would just drop, no problem. And that's, I mean, Era's about to pick up his SMY. He's going to be fast, he's going to be hitting quickly, and it's going to be dangerous for LGD.int. They won't be able to run away from him, especially with track. He's probably going to be moving at max movement speed combined with track. Another thing I like by Fnatic here, they've got this warded up, they've got it sentryed up. They know what LGD knows, and they know that LGD.int knows very little. Look at the map for LGD.int right now. Very little vision, especially compared to Fnatic. Oh, there's a blink in from Blacks. Franz the Dream Coil onto 2. Era, he's silenced for the moment. Pops the Infest inside Era, inside Hani. He gets slept up, and he's basically left on his own here. The familiar stuns can allow him to get out, and they will. The Soul Assumption onto Brax. There's still a Fiend's Grip available, and it's still 2 kills going the way of Fnatic. Despite what looked like a good turnaround from LGD.int, they got so close to finishing off Era. But the sleep, in the end, the familiar stuns prevented them from finishing off Era and provided time for Fnatic to turn that around. And Brax, because he's got no HP, just melts. No ability to jump in and out of these fights. And that's a mid-tier 2 going the way of Fnatic. Another Roche tower going down. They can look towards Roche, or they can look towards the bottom tier 2. Whatever they want, they can take. And at this point, I mean, those are more track kills, looking up to the 12,000 gold mark in favor of Fnatic. And with this Tricore lineup, that's exactly what you want. Hani has just picked up an item, I think. Unless he spent his gold somewhere. Or maybe he... I guess he just bought the BKB after that last death. Oh, there's going to be a solo kill here. Almost, potentially. Trixie just barely dodges. Dust actually gets used twice here. They're going to try and go onto Trixie, but this is not an easy kill. Meanwhile, 1437 just gets murdered by Hani. Actually finished off by Trixie. Track is up on G. Is there a Dragon Tail available? Yes, there is. But he will instead use it on Misery. He'll get finished off. It's a 3 for 0 in favor of Fnatic. And there's the Fiend's Grip onto G. It's 4 for 0. More track kills. Another fight. Actually, 5 for 0. Jesus, where did Pycat go down? Wow. Uses BKB, but not going to save him. One thing I also want to mention here, Trixie's build really working out for him there. Lots of extra armor to deal with the meld. And helping out his team. Definitely helps Era's survivability to have that extra lifesteal, plus its armor for the rest of the team. And he's got the drums and treads for lots of extra HP. He's not easy to take down. And for what he's up against, I think it's the perfect build. Roche goes down to Fnatic. Era, he's going to be the one carrying the Aegis, and 2,300 gold, he's just around the corner from a Basher, and there will be no one on LGD.int that he can't solo. LGD.int, they keep trying to take these fights, and I don't think they have to. They really need to just sit back and, I mean, get basic items up. They don't have anything, really, that can potentially turn this around for them. Like, Brax just needs to get treads. Treads alone could potentially prevent some of these deaths for him. Maybe not at this point because of how far behind they are, but certainly earlier in these fights, treads alone could have been a difference maker for him. Especially with how efficiently those work with bottle. Same thing, I mean, for some of the supports, I mean, can't really expect much from the supports in a game like this. But G, he's got nothing but treads and drums. Trixie, he's going straight onto G. He's not afraid of anything that LGD can do, even with the double damage on Pycat. I don't think Fnatic can chase him quite that far. But they will make sure that this mid-tier 1 continues to stand. G, he really needs to finish a Blink Dagger. Either BKB or a Blink Dagger. Probably the BKB, given the amount of stuns that Fnatic have. It's the only way he's going to be able to accomplish anything in this game or have any form of decent survivability. Pycat, he needs to get working on his next damage item. He's doing the best he can, and look at net worth. I mean, he's the top on his team. He is doing the best that he can, but it's just not good enough. Heaven's Halberd actually picked up. I thought it was going to be a BKB. Oh, I saw the Ogre Club. I got confused. Heaven's Halberd picked up on Hani. His survivability got really nice, and that's even less damage. Oh, Trixie, maybe he stepped out too far. Maybe gonna feed a kill here. Feeds an unstoppable streak to G, which he's gonna be oh so grateful to have. Oh so grateful indeed. 600 gold for him. So unfortunate for Fnatic for him to be feeding up that kill. It's not too big of a deal. A Blink Dagger up on No Tail. You don't see this too often on Bane, but we're gonna see a lot of nightmares from this point forward. Not necessarily a blink Fiend's Grip. Although you can, one thing you can do, you can blink to unconventional positions where it's hard to take you down and have a good time with with your Fiend's Grip. But will help us positioning out a lot, and it's not something that LGD.int's going to expect, and particularly that you don't expect on a support like Bane, who has such trouble farming. Fnatic will start working on this top tier too. They've got the Aegis still on Era. Another 3 minutes before that goes down. So, happy to continue the aggression.
Dire's top tower
With or without the Aegis, really.
Dire's
Era
top
picks up the last
tower
hit on
has
that tower.
fallen.
And he does have his Basher now, by the way. Era, his farm in this game is fantastic. 557 gold per minute. This is exactly the kind of game that they want for their Lifestealer. And it's the kind of game that we generally see from Era on Lifestealer. He plays a really good Lifestealer, very strong on this hero, knows exactly how to push the limits. And I really like Hani's Dragon Knight. He's just so consistent. I mean, the hero is consistent, but Hani as well. His performance is rarely poor. Sometimes he'll get ganked, but I would more often attribute that to a lack of support from the rest of his team in those sort of circumstances.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But he's just always delivering, and in big ways. The gold lead, oh, 20,000. 20,000 experience as well. I don't know what LGD.int can do to come back from this. The late game, I don't even think favors them all that much. They went for this. I mean, this doesn't fit the traditional wombo combo, but they're looking for lots of AoE damage onto everybody of Fnatic, but that's just not going to happen. Fnatic's too tanky. They have Lifestealer, who, I mean, he's their biggest damage source right now, and he has Rage. He doesn't give a fuck about anything that LGD.int throws at him right now. It's just not his concern. About 1 minute left on this Aegis, so happy to start working on this this mid-tier 3. It's now or never for LGD.int. Oh, a Fiend's Grip gets used on the 1437. He's going to get taken out of the fight instantly. No buyback for him. There's a jump in from Brax. Dream Coil onto 2, but Era, before the song is used, he's already popped the Rage, so he can just take out Pycat, no problem. Misery gets eliminated instantly. G, no chance in the middle of all this damage. And the mid-racks, they're going to go down. I don't see LGD.int making it out of this game. They'll do their best. They're not ready to call the GG yet, at least. Perhaps they want to go for one more fight. But I don't know how it can happen. And Fnatic, they're just going to walk straight back in. The open wounds get used onto Pycat. There's the bash. Will he get another bash? Yes, he will. All the bashes he could ever ask for, and he's got that Abyssal Blade, so everything he could possibly need. The GG's called by LGD.int. They are the 4th team to be eliminated from the International 3. Fnatic, they will make it to one more best of 1 in the lower bracket. That's all they have to make it through to get to their best of 3s. And Fnatic make it to the top 8. Wow, I don't think anybody would have predicted that, but they do it. Wow, a close game. No, a close call for Fnatic in getting eliminated from the tournament. Not a close game. LGD.int, they got stomped a little bit. I believe they got outdrafted. They got lured into this heavy AoE lineup. The offlane puck with this ancient strat just didn't work. You can't do it on the Dire side. It just looks like they maybe didn't test it. It doesn't work to do it on the Dire side with at least with Puck's range. You can clear through all the trees, but you can't get close enough to the stacks to be constantly hitting them, and that's one of the brilliances or the wonderful things about the Radiant Ancient stack is that you can always be auto-attacking them, so you can clear them relatively fast. But additionally, you don't see teams doing it with just anybody. You see them doing it with Windrunner, who has a fantastic animation and a natural ability to clear creeps. And Navi, they did it with Mirana, who has a decent animation, but also offers the fantastic ability to throw arrows at any point towards mid and gank, which it offers more than just the ability to get a little bit of farm. So I really don't think that strategy was going to work, even if the range worked out on Puck. I mean, Puck doesn't have 600 range. Maybe it's the same as Windrunner. I have to check. I don't remember off the top of my head. But even outside of that, LGD.int, they just don't have any... Unless they got a fantastic start, which they didn't, they weren't going to have a good game. And Templar Assassin needs heroes that can keep up with her, needs supports that aren't going to be useless with no farm. Jakiro is definitely not a support that can keep up. Jakiro's good rotation support, someone that can help defend lanes, someone that helps you turtle, helps with teamfight, which LGD was looking for, but you can't do that with Naga Siren at level 1. Naga Siren has to get to level 6, that's the problem number 1, and then you get there and you have a 180-second cooldown on your sleep. In theory, it makes wonderful sense, but not early on. And they have no ability to hold off Fnatic early on, not with these tanky carries that they love to run for. I mean, you know what would have been amazing in this game? A Timbersaw. Timbersaw would have ripped through Dragon Knight, would have been wonderful against Lifestealer. Would have given them more aggression. They could have put him in the off lane. Something that LGD should have considered. I don't know if it was banned out. I don't remember the bans of this game. In any case, LGD, they say goodbye in the second round of the lower bracket. Fnatic will continue on. They will now officially join the top 8. They have secured for themselves some prize money. So they must feel at least a little bit happy about that and breathe a sigh of relief as they make it into yet another phase. The next matchup for them, it's going to be difficult, but at least they've made it. In any case, that's it for me for tonight. I'm going to sit back and watch the All-Stars match and call it a night. I'll be casting again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I do so dearly appreciate it. In any case, I'm signing off. See you again soon.